Hey everybody, welcome again to the Havelockedown. This is obviously part 2 of the first one. It's just an extension where we're chatting about our influences. So there is going to be a link if you're on YouTube to our Spotify playlist that we've made of all the influences that we're about to mention and the ones from the last episode. If you are listening on Spotify, which you can now listen there, I'm not sure how it works, but if you just go on our profile, we'll make sure it's on our Havelocke Spotify profile. So yeah, enjoy the episode. Cheers. Next band is Beartooth.
Nice.
This is they're not that old. They've not been going that long. I didn't listen to what was the band before Beartooth that
Attack
Caleb
Attack.
was in. Attack Attack. I didn't really listen to Attack Attack,
No.
but like I remember In Between coming on. Like I think that was like Scuzz or Karen still, and I was just like, this like is insane. Like his vocals are unmatched. Like it's just like nothing I'd ever heard. And I would say like anytime that we have like a heavy bit or a breakdown, whenever I've written it, I'm like had Beartooth on the back of my mind. Like I always want our breakdowns to sound like something Beartooth do. And like when I'm screaming, I'm like I want to sound like Caleb because he's just like he's got it all. He's just insane.
It's
Well,
just
I don't know if anyone
got
else- Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has really taken that much influence from them, but like I feel like all our heavy bits that I've written are like very Beartooth influenced.
the heavy bits in Beartooth songs are like why I listen to them, because I don't think anyone can really match his vocals in terms of how he sounds. And
Yeah.
weirdly enough, like the first time I heard them is I was watching a Melissa Cross documentary, and he was on
Yeah.
that, and he just had it's like headband on and stuff. And he just saw him go playing live, and his screams are just ridiculous. They're just so dirty, and then that album is so good.
Yeah. I remember seeing that John Feldman had like signed them or something. And just being really surprised because it's definitely not really what I would associate with him. I guess like he had a hand in all of the used like first few albums, so that's pretty sick.
And we that song basically because it's just a great song.
Yeah, they do have a couple of anthems.
And that has got like the breakdown of the album. Like that is
Yeah.
the breakdown that you want.
Yeah,
What I
for
really
sure.
really love about the guitar stuff is that it's not like overly complicated. Like they have riffy bits, but none of it is like stupid like shredding. It's just heavy
Yeah.
riffs, like really simple,
Yeah.
really effective. Like they use drop tunings and that is like the effect that they have going on. There's nothing too complicated going on. It's really cool.
Yeah, and all of like the heavy, nice breakdown bits are super like gappy and stripped back, and I really appreciate people don't try to like layer it up too much. And I think as
Yeah.
like musical point of view, that's really clever how they just take away everything, and like when there's no sound is the bit that's like the best bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Just a good band. Made us heavy. Well, not made us heavy, but influences a lot of our heavy bits. I would say.
Yeah.
Blink 182. This is pretty much every band's influence. I think Jack was the one that suggested them, which is just a classic drummer thing to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, we all love pop punk growing up. But Blink were like my favourite of the pop punk bands. You always loved Green Day. I don't know if you'd say you prefer Green Day over Blink, but
I don't know now,
Yeah,
but
they
when I was
were
younger,
always-
I was obsessed with Green Day. So
yeah. But like, they were always the pop punk band that I loved
Yeah.
growing up. And it is very stereotypical, but Travis Barker.
Yeah.
I think like
You are.
no
a
matter
drummer.
what you think of Travis, like being sometimes it's a bit too much, but like he is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah, like, I don't think he's a bad drummer. I
No.
think because the rest of the music is very minimal and it's not like mad riffs and stuff, the drums can kind of be flashy and it works. And it's all about playing to the music. And if it works, it works,
Yeah.
really. I think it does with Blink.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. I don't like Travis Barker so much, which I know that a lot of people will hate me for saying.
Yeah.
I think
Loads of people don't, though.
yeah, I think
He's a bit like Marmite. I think.
I think he's a bit Marmite.
they've definitely influenced me. Like when I was not so much now. I don't like, but when I was younger, like they were a big influence on me. And like
Sure.
I think like even though I hate this song now, but like it was all the small things. Like, I heard it on the radio and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then my sister gave me a CD, and I got home, and I put it on, and it was just like a random compilation. It wasn't. It looked like it was a real thing. Like she'd made a cover. They'd made a cover and everything for it, but it was just a random like mix of songs. And that came on. I was like, I know this song. Like, this is the song I like. I was like, I love this band. And then I started getting into like all the B-sides that were on it, because it had really random songs. It had like Mutt on it and stuff, but it was sick.
That's cool.
And
What's a good
I think
song?
I think it's just a sort of it got us into music sort of band, isn't it?
Me, Owen, and Jack wouldn't be in a band together if it hadn't been for the fact that we went to go see Blink-182 at Sheffield
Of
Arena
course,
in
yeah.
2012. That's when we
That
decided.
was just as we us three had first started playing music together, really, or decided we were going to start playing music together. Yeah. Wow. Feels like so long ago now.
Yeah.
It is so long ago.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun gig as well. That was when it was still Tom DeLonge as well. It wasn't Matt Skiba, was it?
No,
It was that's like 2012. That was ages ago.
Neighbourhoods.
9 years
I
ago.
can't remember who supported that show.
All American
All American
Rejects.
Rejects, Twin Atlantic.
Yeah.
All American Reject.
I remember All American Rejects and the front man. I can't know what his name is, but he was so weird.
Yeah,
that
it
gig.
it was odd.
Yeah, he was definitely. on
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
My sister used to make me make mixtape CDs, and the first track on one of them was All American Rejects.
But that's pretty much it for Blink.
Yeah.
Next one we've got is Paris or Paris.
Yeah.
Given how
This
they
is-
invert the A.
This is a bit of a wild card one. I think I put this on there, but like genuinely, I think that Paris are literally just AFI encapsulated into electronic pop music. I think you can't get anything that has that like dark electronic sound as well as Paris can. I feel like it's just ridiculously good. I think Lingun is probably one of the most influential women in music. Like, you'll get so many people saying, "Oh, like Hayley Williams, this and that, and blah blah blah." No, Lingun, and the way that she like produces everything and plays all the instruments, and it's like Paris is literally just a one-person show at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like Paris really makes me appreciate like the little bits that you get in songs, like the little extra noises and the little background things. Like, because so much of Paris is just like atmosphere. I listen to Paris and I'm like, I really want like our music to have that sort of atmosphere. Like, there's like, you don't necessarily notice what's going on, but if it wasn't there, you'd be like, this sounds really empty. Like, Paris has so much production, obviously, because she put so much of that production into it. I think without that, it wouldn't be the same. But like, I feel like that's made me want to have more of these like little elements that just pop out. If you really listen to them, you can hear them, but they just kind of make it all one big thing.
The little things that make a big difference, innit?
Yeah, the use of harps that they have literally all the way through the second album is literally just one of the reasons why I was adamant that there was going to be some harp bits on the EP that we've recorded. And
Something I think they do really well. What Owen was saying about them doing little things in the background. What I think they do a lot is what other people don't. They put little things in the background or little elements even in the front, but they only do it like once per song. And I think as like an artist, that's like a really, even on like a production level, it's really clever and a really risky and brave thing to do by doing this really thing you really like. And I think that's something I try and think about, is like, I'm going to do this cool bit, but I'm not going to like force it into the song and just play it once. Like, even if it's in a verse, I'll only do it in one time in one verse, and that's it. I think that's really brave. And they do it quite a lot when you, like I was saying, like when you do listen.
Sometimes it's literally something as simple as just like a little like vocal line that's been like messed with. It just kind of goes ba or something.
Yeah,
like, that's sick.
I remember.
It was just like an electronic hoop.
Yeah. I remember reading a thing, and I didn't notice it until I'd read that she'd said it, and then Lingun was saying, there's like motifs that I also try and put that run through albums. So there'll be some like something right at the start of the album that's is played on like keys, or it'll be something that's on like strings, and it'll just be some like melody. And then later on in another track, she might repeat that same thing but as a vocal line, but extend it and like have it to fit into that song. And then you listen back and you're like, oh my god, it is like all of these tracks are linked by these little motifs, but you don't notice that they're the same thing until you actually listen to it properly. Or like,
See, it's cool that like there's a lot of thought gone into it.
And the song, we've gone for What's Wrong. I think Hope just chose it.
Yeah, I think it's probably my favourite Paris song. I know that it was a single, and I hate that whole like, oh, people only listen to the singles. No, it was a
That's
single
fine.
because
If you like the song,
it's
you
a
like the
single
song.
There's a
because
reason
it's
they put it as a single.
Yeah, it's a single because it's a great song. It's so like heavy without having to have too much in the guitars. It's really groovy. There's like, I think when it drops down in like the second verse, that is possibly one of my favourite bits of like modern pop rock sort of stuff. Yeah, just a really great song. Really dark as well. The video's really strange.
I mean, to be honest, like Paris is weird because it feels like every song's a single anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
like
Especially
they just release albums of singles.
yeah, especially the latest album. I keep saying that I think, however long Paris lasts for, I think Lingun's got a really long career as just a pop songwriter for other people. If that's
Yeah.
what
She
happens.
can
afterwards.
write our songs if she
Yeah.
wants.
Or just like a producer.
Yeah.
Her thinking is amazing.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on to the real, like the big wild card, like the big one,
yeah.
the big weird one. Sonic Boom 6. A lot of people probably haven't even heard of Sonic Boom 6. They're like a
band's on
ska punk band from what, like 15 years ago? Was that when they were like big? That was their like their.
heyday.
Was it that long ago?
That wasn't when we listened to them. Like they were still going when we got into them. I don't know when the Sonic Boom 6 album was released,
Yeah.
which is what we hyped off with like the dance.
That was
stuff
like
on it.
2012, I think, something like that.
Yeah, like so it's just a band that we like when we were younger. We just absolutely loved like ska punk music, and Sonic Boom 6 did it better than anyone else, I think, because they just had so much going off. Like there's dubstep bits.
It was more
almost,
than
and,
just
like,
ska punk. Though.
yeah, it was like ska punk with like drum and bass, and it had like extra like little like dubsteppy bits and
Yeah.
just so many like electronic elements. They just
It's
made
just
it
fun.
so weird.
They're
Yeah.
so multi-genre, like.
Yeah. But like in our old bands, we played with them a couple of times, and like they were just like really fun live.
Yeah.
It was just one of those bands where like it just kind of shaped us becoming musicians, and
Yeah.
but we don't have that many like electronic elements or anything like that. I'd love to,
Yet.
but it's hard
Yeah.
to do. If I could, I would.
I remember when we were younger, we used to go and see them literally every 6 months. They would play in like either Sheffield or
Yeah.
Nottingham, and we'd go to either one. And
Where are they from?
they're from Manchester. I think they're
Yeah.
based in London though. So that, yeah, properly like northern like influences on their lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. It's like,
but
it's like party music.
it's like party music, but they really touched upon
Yeah.
like multiculturalism and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because their singer's Asian, and she experienced obviously like a really multicultural upbringing in Manchester, which is quite a multicultural place anyway.
Yeah.
Just their views on like people growing up in working class areas, and yeah, it's all just really brilliant stuff. Really good songwriting. The lyrics are like, a lot of the stuff is like rap almost.
It is rap.
But like
Yeah.
insane.
It's like they have like two vocalists, don't they?
Yeah.
One who's like rap.
They used to
one
have
who
three.
is
Yeah.
the clean vocalist.
But some of the songs just
They used
like
to have three.
yeah, they used to have three, and they'd all rap as well, and it was insane.
Yeah.
They'd all like do a different
Wow.
verse, and,
Let's hope
and
you have Jack.
they were all
And then they'd have like
so good.
3 harmony choruses and stuff, and it was just like mental.
Yeah, back when they used to have like a brass section as well.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
What song have we got for Sonic Boom 6?
I think it's Who Will Survive.
Have we kept with Who Will Survive? Yeah, that's just a lot of people like hated on the album because it was such a departure, but I think that's why I loved it, because it was just like a bass. It's like bass line, isn't it? Like it's I don't
Nothing
really know
wrong
how to
with bass line.
describe it. It's like bass line punk, but it's rap as well. Right, and we have made it to the final band, the final song. The last band we have got is Creeper.
Out of all the bands that have been recent influences on me in the last couple of years, Creeper has to be that one for me. Kind of got into Creeper a bit late, really. Again, through
Yeah,
you
after
guys.
us telling you about 10,000 like every other day to listen to them.
But ever since I did get into them, like, yeah, definitely been massive influences on us in the last few years. They're just a great band.
Yeah, I think it was good for me. Like when they first came around, I was like, I always wanted bands that sounded kind of like AFI, and when they came around, I was like, there's finally like a new band that has that sort of old AFI sound.
Yeah.
And they were just like something that wasn't really around that much anymore, but loads of people were getting into it, and it just kind of paved the way for like it wasn't like this was like as we were sort of getting into this sort of like making this sort of music, and we're like, oh look, there's like a band that's kind of doing well, that is doing our sort of thing as well. So like it was like quite encouraging.
So there's hope for us.
It was weird for me with Creeper, like they back home for me years and years and years ago. There was one club where you could go and see bands of that genre, and I just went along every week to whoever was there, and they were there. They had the support slot, and they were good, but obviously I had no idea who they were. There was nobody in the crowd really, and then they kind of disappeared for years because that was like at the very beginning of me getting into this music, and then they kind of just popped up out of nowhere. And they were playing all these gigs. They were on every tour. Everyone had the back patches on. I was like, "Who the hell are these people?" So you look up all the music. I was like, "Oh my god! I saw these live like years ago, like in a completely different like city." It is crazy the reflection they have with us.
I think we just have we have very similar influences. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when me and Owen first saw them. It was when they just released the first EP, and they played Manchester Punk Festival, and they played an AFI cover of like some really obscure song off of The Art of Drowning. And I remember then just being like, they do just listen to the exact same things that we listen to, because if we were going to pick a song to cover, that might have been one of the songs, because it's just like... Yeah. Just this insane, like, really fast song. It's got some ridiculous bass line in it that it's just like a really fast, like, bass solo.
Classic melodic AFI chorus.
Yeah.
I think as well, like, you can listen to different songs. Not so much now. They've obviously got into crazy new like areas of music now, which we haven't yet touched upon. But like obviously, from Eternity in Your Arms and before that, you can listen to like different songs and be like, yeah, like that sounds like something AFI would do, or My Chem, or Alkaline Trio, like all bands that we sort of listen to and are influenced by. I think they are influenced by very similar sort of bands.
Yeah, it's really nice as well. Like, they're doing the same sort of stuff, but as well they've got that whole like male-female vocals. I don't like referring to people as like male-female, like it's kind of creepy. But you know what I mean, like the sort of like duality of their voices, and being able to have like the contrasting sides when they do vocals and stuff. There's quite often the parts that are sung by a woman in the lyrics, so they'll have Hannah singing it, and then they'll have the parts that are sung by a man, so they'll have Will singing it, and it'll be like people actually speaking to each other, because they can have that real conversation going on, which is crazy. Yeah, like concept album wise, that is really, really what you want.
Yeah, I feel like they also try and like musically, like you listen to their album and it's like an experience. Like they try and make things an experience rather than just I'm listening to an album. Like it's like they made this album, they've thought about the songs and made it like one big
it's thinking about it as the album as a whole instead of just as individual songs, which Creeper definitely do well. Like there's one of the songs that in Eternity for Your Arms that I think it's the song that is it the one we've got, which is I think Room 309. I think is it that one that goes into crickets. And it's like so seamless, and like they're very good at like telling a story. I think. Yeah.
The way it drops down at the end of that song into just like the two vocals and the acoustic guitar is probably, I think that's probably one of the best things they've ever written.
Yeah, the vocals do work so well with each other. Like they're really nice, the harmonies.
Yeah, and like it's just a great song, isn't it? Really, like it's very like it shows the influences like similar to us, but then it has that bit at the end. I think it's all about that bit at the end with the massive harmonies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that, like how it breaks off and just goes really big and epic. Like it's just really interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
I think anyway.
Yeah, the way it drops off just gives me like massive chills every time. Even though I'm expecting it, I've heard this song so many times over. Just it builds up to that like big sound, and then all of a sudden it's just like cut. No more sound. We want everything to be just two people.
Yeah.
And I guess they've also influenced us in the sense that like I don't think if Creeper hadn't recorded with Neil, that might not have like come into my brain. But I was like, I wanna sound like this good. So we were like, let's go to Neil. Let's record our EP with Neil. Let's go with someone who we know.
Yeah,
knows what he's doing with like our sort of music. So yeah, that's kind of influenced us in that way as well, I would say.
It's good to have that modern band.
It's like majorly, like directly influenced us. Like we wouldn't have recorded that if not. So
like he's obviously done other things that are good, but because that was so like relatable to our sound, we were like, he can do it. So that is all of our songs. That's all the bands that we are. Not all the bands we're influenced by. We obviously have other influences, but that is 10 that we could agree on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could go on hours and hours about other bands that like have influenced things, but yeah, yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Hope everyone's getting a little bit out of hearing what we were influenced by. We're hoping in the future to have sort of other people join in. It's not just going to be us four every time. Hopefully we'll be back pretty soon. I don't know how often we're going to be doing this. Let us know in the comments or message us, whatever you want to do. Let us know what you want to hear about.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear about our day? Do you want to hear about our lives? It's been Havelocke.
Cool.
This has been the Havelockedown.
Bye.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Hey, if you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us. I hope you've enjoyed finding out what has influenced us, whether that was a big surprise or whether it was kind of obvious. I know some of them were very obvious. As I said earlier, there is a playlist in the comments, or if you're on Spotify, just go on our profile of all the influencers. So if you want to check them out, they're there. Obviously, some of them you might not even know. So I definitely recommend it. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And the new episode will be, we're gonna aim for once a month, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna get some guests in. We're gonna do some more interesting stuff. So yeah, stick with us, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.